when a young Bruce Wayne must travel to the very stars themselves to better train in the art of superhero-dom. There's no telling where this cosmic odyssey could take and what'll happen next. Well, let's hop into the pages of Batman Off-World issue number 2 and find out what happens next, shall we? So then, picking up from where the last issue left off, you'll remember that Batman had found himself shanghaied into servitude by a group of deadly space pirates calling themselves the War Workers. Despite being in such a dog-eat-dog part of the universe, Batman continues to stay true to his ideals about not killing, and because of that, he ends up getting saddled with the absolute worst job on the War Workers' ship. And that is, of course, cleaning out the storm engines when they get filled with debris. Here's the thing, though, they don't turn off the engines while you're cleaning them, because as Captain Sin, the leader of the War Workers, says, war stops for no one. Batman's legend is actually beginning to grow around this time, too, amongst the alien crew. Most people don't survive more than 2 cleanings of the storm engines, but Batman has already survived 5. Moreover than that, he's rescuing other people. Which, of course, pisses off the War Worker guards to no end. After all, this is supposed to be a might makes right sort of society, so they can't have a big old softy like Batman showing people that there's a better way in the Slag Galaxy. Of course, Batman didn't come here just to save people from getting torn up by space engines. Oh no, he's come here to learn how to fight, specifically how to fight different types of aliens well above his ability as a human. To do this, he's managed to enlist the help of Punchbot, a rebuilt combat robot, which is doing everything in its power to try and help Batman learn to be better. The only problem is that the robot can only go so far. And if Batman really wants to learn how to one-punch aliens with their unique physiology, he's going to need some hands-on training. Luckily, this is where Ione comes into place. You'll remember her as the rogue Tamaranian, who had worked for the War Workers as a bounty hunter, capturing people who ran away from the crew, only to eventually get herself thrown in with the other captives. Ione agrees to help Batman train to be the very best like no one ever was, on the condition that once everything is said and done, he'll help her escape. Ione, of course, still can't understand why someone like Batman wouldn't go all in and refuses to kill. But in a very fun character twist, we realize that Batman is very well aware of Ione, that she's not nearly as much of a bad girl as she lets on. In fact, at night she sneaks out of her cell to gather food and supplies for the weakest and most needy prisoners. It's with Ione's help Batman finally begins to realize the secret arts that come with punching aliens. Like the particularly cruel guard who oversees the storm engine workers. Turns out the trick to taking down these guys is to actually not punch them in the face, but punch them in the teeth. They have a real bit of vanity when it comes to their tusks, and all you gotta do is break one for them to start spiraling. Eventually, all the different crew members start singing the praises of the Batman, though hilariously they spell it Bat-man. What is he, like Spider-Man or something? Obviously, Captain Sin and his guards can't have this hope infect the entirety of their crew, and as such, Batman gets rushed by an entire detachment of bloodthirsty prison guards. It's here Batman also gets the chance to show off everything he's learned from his training. Hey, I'm gonna hit this guard in his kidneys, which just so happened to be in his thighs. I hit this special alien in the armpit and he crumbles to the ground like I kicked him in the nads, because I'm pretty sure that's where his race keeps their nads. How about that? In his internal monologue, Batman remarks how much he feels at home right now, like he was fighting coked up goons in the alleys of Gotham City. And that feeling is very good. Also, wow, Batman got to say coked up in this book, holy shit. Of course, Batman is still sadly very much one man, and it takes about 12 of the goons to drag him off to prison. It seems that Ione was also grabbed around the same time for stealing supplies, and in the morning, Captain Sin is gonna send them out into the cold recesses of space to die. It's only here, once she thinks her number is truly up, does Ione start to open up to Batman about her past and what brought her to this moment. She says that she actually fell in love with one of the bounties that she was tasked with capturing. Yet, despite catching feelings, she ended up turning in this guy anyway. She came back to save him, only to realize that he died in the very same storm engines that Batman has been cleaning all this time. Oh, ironic. They also reiterate that thing from the first issue when Ione first met Batman, saying she knows what it's like to love someone so deeply and that love is going to get you killed. At first, I thought that they were maybe talking about Batman's love for Catwoman, but in reality, he was actually talking about his love for Gotham City. Ultimately, Batman is able to slip his cuffs using the stolen tusks that he punched off one of the guards. It's here too, Batman ends up walking away with maybe the line of the entire series so far by saying to Ione that he's Batman and that love could never get him killed, not today or any day. Wow, that is both incredibly wholesome and also totally badass at the same time. Batman, warrior of love, a man who is willing to put his mind, body, and soul through hell and back just because he really truly cares that much. It's at that moment Batman and Ione start their big plan to try and escape the ship with a few other of the war worker prisoners. They all manage to get to the ship just fine, but Batman still has unfinished business with Captain Sin. After all, it was an Aari who came to Earth and made trouble in Gotham, which forced Batman to come to space in the first place. Despite how strong he's gotten and how much he's mastered punching different types of aliens in the face, Batman is sadly still not strong enough to take on Captain Sin, and he ends up finding himself thrown out into the cold vacuum of space anyway. It's here that Batman probably would have died were it not for the unexpected and deeply heroic sacrifice of the Punch robot, who managed to send him an escape pod at the cost of his very life. His final words to Batman are a thank you, saying that he was the one who finally taught Punchbot to punch back. Oh my god, Jason Aaron, why are you making me all misty-eyed about this punching robot? Now, where exactly did Punchbot program the escape pod to take Batman? Well, you'll never believe it, but to planet Aari, the place that Captain Sin is from originally. Understandably, the inhabitants are pretty shocked to see such a strange outsider in their lands, but Batman thinks that this has all been predestined, all part of the bigger picture that comes with him completing his training. We also learn a lot about planet Aari. Apparently, it was a lush wonderland once upon a time until the Black Sun Mining Company came. The planet got struck for resources, crime, criminality, and poverty ran rampant, and worse still, the company actually kidnapped a whole generation of children and kept them as hostages, before eventually just pulling up stakes and running away. Batman doesn't know if he can do enough at this point in his life to save the entire planet, but the very least he can do is try and protect everyday people by dealing with a group of wolves that have been attacking people in the nearby caves. And again, you don't need to be a literary genius to see the parallels they're drawing between this planet's urban decay and the urban decay of Gotham. In fact, as the comic comes to a close and Batman bravely stares down these alien carnivores, he says that he's traveled all the way around the universe and yet somehow he still feels very much at home. And so that was Batman Off-World issue number 2, everybody, and I gotta take my hat off to Jason Aaron because this new series really is moving from strength to strength. I said it last time, but it really bears repeating. Perhaps one of the greatest secret weapons in this series is just how straight up simplistic it is. Batman goes to space to try and learn to punch aliens better than he ever has before. Hell, in a way, it's almost Taylor Sheridan-esque, have a dirt simple plot that allows you to explore a lot of inter-character dynamics and growth, and that's exactly what they're doing here. Batman not only has to learn how to fight aliens, but also has to learn how to accept help, roll with the punches, deal with threats, including his own possible mortality, and learn that the systemic problems that are affecting Gotham right now actually affect a lot of places all over the universe, and that if you're going to spend your life warring on crime, criminality, and corruption, it's going to be a very long battle indeed. Art is solid, the action is top-notch. I'm actually really beginning to care for the supporting cast in a way I didn't think I would up until this point. Overall, this was just a damn fine issue from start to finish. I would give it a very solid 8.5 out of 10, and I can't wait for part 3. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.